Welcome to the Deep Dive Protocol. I'm your host, Poet Woods. Now, you may have seen my strategies featured on NBC, CBS, and Fox News. But today, we're going deeper than sound bites. As a certified knowledge broker and transformational strategist, I know that success is 80% psychology. But as a Google certified AI performance specialist and an AI generalist, I also know that without the right systems, mindset is just a dream. My mission is to fuse these two worlds. In this episode, I've commissioned my AI intelligence team to deconstruct the code of the top 1%. We're stripping away the noise to reveal the real architecture of success. This isn't just a podcast. It's a reprogramming session. Get ready, because now it's time to think with an entrepreneur's mind. The protocol begins now.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're opening up a due diligence report that, honestly, it reads more like a business thriller.
It really does.
It's called the Autonomous Revenue Engine, and it's a deep analysis of this operational shift being driven by a company called appointmentbots.com.
Right, and it's so much more than just a tech report. It's really an investigation into this massive operational friction that's quietly killing a lot of small and medium-sized businesses.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is what exactly?
We're going to synthesize the hard data here, the quantifiable cost of missed opportunities, and then evaluate how this new wave of voice AI provides a genuinely scalable solution for entrepreneurs who are, frankly, drowning in their own success.
I like that framing, drowning in success.
Okay.
So let's unpack this core problem the report flags right at the start. It calls it a profound and invisible crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this paradox where the better you are at your job, say you're a top-tier surgeon or the best plumber in town, the less available you actually become.
That's the entire crux of it. The insight, which is championed by Poet Woods in this report, is that the specialist's mind, their real value, is being completely wasted.
Wasted how?
It's trapped in what they call the operational weeds, just managing phone calls, scheduling, the basics. And they argue that appointmentbots.com is designed to be the asset that just lifts that ceiling, freeing up the entrepreneur to do the high-value work.
That makes a lot of sense conceptually. But let's stop theorizing and get right into the brutal reality of part one, which they call the quantifiable cost of silence.
Okay, so the foundational statistic is it's genuinely shocking, and I think we need to just let it sink in for a second.
Go for it.
A staggering 62% of calls to small and medium-sized businesses go completely unanswered.
Wait, 62?
62%, so not 10%, not a third. The actual majority of people trying to spend money with a business just fail to connect.
That is a massive, massive failure across the entire economy.
Yeah.
So when you start to extrapolate that, what does it look like in, dollars and cents?
It hits hard. The report states that on average, an SMB forfeits $126,000 annually.
Just from not picking up the phone.
Just from not answering a ringing phone. And what's crucial here is that this isn't speculative revenue. This is money they already paid to get. The marketing was done. This is pure profit just evaporating because of friction.
I think we need to pause on that number.
Yeah.
$126,000 for a small business, that's a huge cash flow problem.
It's a game changer.
So can you give us some specific examples? Like bring that number to life for us.
For sure. Let's look at home services. Urgency is everything there, right? A single missed call a homeowner with a flooded basement, that's a loss of $300 to $1,200 instantly.
Wrong.
Gone. Or for legal services, a single unanswered query can cost a firm $425 or more because that client just called the next person on the Google listing.
And what about in the medical field?
Well, for a general practice, a missed inquiry might be $100 or $200. But that loss skyrockets into the thousands if that call was for a high-value cosmetic procedure or a surgical consult.
Right. It's this invisible cash leak happening everywhere.
But the natural response is always, well, I have voicemail, that's my safety net.
Right. I was just about to say that.
And the report calls that the voicemail fallacy. The data doesn't just challenge that idea, it absolutely shatters it.
Okay, why?
Because we're now in what they call the zero patience era. The numbers are just damning. Consumers have too many options and no time to wait.
So what are the key data points on that?
Okay, first, 85% of callers who don't reach a live person will never call back. They're just gone. They move on.
85%.
Wow. And this is the most critical point. 80% of callers hang up the second they hear a voicemail greeting. They don't even listen to the message.
So they don't even give the business a chance to get back to them.
Not a chance. And even for the few who do leave a message, get this. 67% of consumers admit they ignore voicemails entirely anyway.
So the implication is pretty stark.
It's brutal and it's binary. If you do not answer, you do not sell. And that's where Appointment Boss is positioned to eliminate that deficit instantly.
Which brings us to the next big challenge, all right? How do you make sure this AI doesn't just sound like another one of those annoying robotic systems we all hang up on?
Exactly.
You have to distinguish this from the run-of-the-mill Jill chatbot we've all dealt with.
And that transition is critical because the report defines the difference as moving from passive, text-based frustration to active, persuasive voice AI. This isn't just answering, it's interactive intelligence designed to persuade and qualify.
And the numbers seem to back up that superiority of voice.
You do.
The sources say these high-end AI voice agents generate 4.7 times more qualified leads than text-based chatbots on the exact same web traffic.
And here's where the skepticism about robots gets sort of flipped on its head. For complex inquiries, the ones that need real explanation and nuance, 89% of customers actually prefer voice AI over a text bot.
Okay, now here's this stat that really made me sit up. The report claims that in blind tests, 72% of callers believe they are speaking with a human. Wait, 72%? That sounds like science fiction. How is that even possible? Is it just the voice inflection?
That's a great question because it's not just about the voice. It's a mix of natural dialect, human-like pauses, and, most critically, context processing.
So it's listening.
It's listening, it's analyzing intent, and it's pulling complex data from the business's own systems in real time to give relevant answers. That's what sells the human experience.
That speed and competence, it brings us to this concept they call the platinum minute.
Yes.
We've all been there. You have an urgent need, you call, and if you don't connect immediately, you just move on.
That's the platinum minute. And if you connect it to the bigger picture, speed equals revenue. Leads are 100 times more likely to be qualified if you contact them within 5 minutes versus 30.
100 times.
And teams that respond within that first critical minute, they see up to a 391% higher conversion rate. You need infinite scale to capture that minute every single time.
Right. A human can only handle one platinum minute at a time. This can handle, well, all of them.
Exactly.
But that kind of scale requires serious stability. You mentioned GA shall go high level. For those of us who don't follow software alliances, why is that partnership a big deal?
That's vital context. GHL provides the industrial-grade pipes. This isn't some experimental app. It's a robust engine that processes over 1 million AI calls every month.
1 million a month.
Per month. So the alliance ensures stability, but more importantly, it means seamless integration. The AI doesn't just talk. It books appointments into the calendar, updates the CRM, and triggers marketing workflows. It automates the whole journey.
So it turns friction into flow. All right, let's pivot and see this in action. Let's look at the evergreen niches: health, wealth, and relationships.
Let's start with health and aesthetics, cosmetic surgeons, med spas. These are high-stakes, high-discretion industries. The biggest problem is timing. A potential patient is usually doing research at, say, 10 p.m., long after the clinic is closed.
Okay, so paint the picture. It's 10:15 p.m. Someone's looking for a consultation. They call 3 places. 2 go to voicemail.
And the one with appointment bots answers instantly with that 72% human-like quality. The report says a clinic missing just 35% of its calls is bleeding $15,000 or more every month.
So the AI steps in, it answers discreetly, it qualifies their needs.
Right. Is it filler? Is it a complex surgery? And it books a consultation for the next morning right then and there.
And the ROI on that is clear.
Oh, absolutely. Med spas that use this for after-hours calls saw a 28% increase in bookings. That translated to over $12,000 in new monthly revenue in just 90 days. It turns off hours into on hours.
Let's shift to relationships and coaching. Therapists, life coaches. Here, the report introduces a really fascinating idea: the artificial intimacy paradox.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting.
How can an AI provide intimacy? That feels like an oxymoron.
The paradox suggests that when people are seeking help for very sensitive issues, they're often more honest with a machine.
Why?
Because the perceived absence of human judgment removes the shame. There's no fear of vulnerability when you're confessing something to a bot.
Okay, I get the efficiency argument, but I have to push back. If I'm a high-end coach, don't I lose that critical first connection if the first voice my client hears is a machine?
The data suggests the opposite, at least for that initial intake. 74% of users felt completely understood by chatbots in these support roles, specifically because of that lack of judgment.
So the AI does the high-friction intake.
And it does it without bias, which actually prepares the client for a much more effective first session with the human expert.
That's a powerful insight. Okay, let's pivot again to B2B in the trades, where speed is survival. Urgent home services, plumbers, electricians.
Think about the classic scenario. It's 8 p.m. on a Sunday, a pipe just burst, the homeowner is stressed, they're desperate, they call 3 plumbers.
And the first 2 go to a full voicemail box or an overwhelmed technician.
Right. But the third one, the one with the AI, answers instantly, schedules the emergency triage, and dispatches the crew. They win the job, period.
And the economics there are just as big. Plumbers lose an estimated $15,000 a month just from those missed emergency calls.
And you see the exact same dynamic in hospitality during the dinner rush. The staff are too busy to answer the phone. The result, 43% of restaurant calls go unanswered, leading to losses of over $23,000.
Which the AI solves by taking reservations and takeout orders while the host manages the floor. The report says restaurants using this see, 22% revenue gains?
Consistent 22% gains. The theme is just crystal clear. Instant coverage equals captured revenue.
This flows perfectly into part 4, which is the pure economic case. Framing this as a straight investment decision. Digital labor versus human capital.
Let's just run down the cold, hard numbers from their comparison table.
Okay. A traditional human receptionist costs, $45,000 to $65,000 a year. The AI is a tiny fraction of that. Massive savings right off the bat.
But the cost is only half of it. The coverage is the real story. A human gives you maybe 40 hours a week. The AI gives you 168 hours a week.
That's 4.2 times the coverage.
An infinite scale. A human handles 1 call. The AI handles unlimited calls at the same time. You could have 100 platinum minutes happening at once. No one ever goes on hold.
And then there's reliability. Sick days, turnover, burnout.
All human problems. The system has 99.9% uptime, backed by that GHL infrastructure. That stability is everything when your revenue's on the line.
Finally, the report talks about the technology of trust. How do you convince a skeptical business owner that this AI is actually good enough to be the face of their company?
They use what they call a self-demoing capability. Meaning the modern buyer doesn't want to read a promise on a website. They want to experience the solution. Interactive demos improve conversion rates by almost 8 times compared to just static pages.
So instead of reading a list of features, I can just call the number on their site and role-play with the AI myself.
Exactly. You test it. You ask it hard questions. It's the ultimate show, don't tell principle. It builds immediate trust because you experience its competence firsthand.
So wrapping this all up, what's the final verdict for the entrepreneur trying to get out of those operational weeds?
The final verdict from this report is pretty singular and absolute. It says that relying only on human bandwidth for client acquisition is basically voluntarily surrendering the future.
A strong statement.
It positions appointmentbots.com not just as an efficiency tool, but as a genuine competitive moat for any business that's serious about winning through accessibility.
It's clear that accessibility is the new battlefield, and silence just isn't an option anymore.
And if we just connect it back one last time to that artificial intimacy paradox, the fact that customers are more honest and trusting with an AI in sensitive areas, it raises a really important question for all of us to think about.
Which is?
If clients find it easier to reveal their deepest needs to a non-judgmental machine, what does that tell us about the future need for non-human intermediaries in really high-stakes human transactions? Are we entering an age where that vulnerable initial intake work is actually best handled by AI to ensure both honesty and efficiency? Something for you to ponder.
The transmission ends here, but the construction project is just beginning. Now, I've told you to go get the blueprint, but you need to understand, I'm not just sending you there to download a PDF. I'm sending you to the armory. The blueprint is the central command station for an entrepreneur's mind. When you step inside, you aren't just getting scripts. You're getting access to the full scope of my agency's heavy artillery. The AI appointment bots to clone your sales team and book calls while you sleep. The interactive video engines that turn passive viewers into active buyers. The Dirty Dollars OS to automate your access acquisition. and even the legal architectures and biohacking fuel you need to protect and power your empire, and so much more. We have the tech, the strategy, the protection, and the protocol. It's all waiting for you behind one door. Go to anentrepreneur'smind.com/blueprint. Stop playing with the pieces of the puzzle. Come get the whole picture. Initiate the protocol. I'll see you on the inside. Stay focused, and as always, straight ahead.